Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about the end of the video? This is another paid request, this time for Ben. They do so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Weird, the Yankovic Story. Came out last year for the Roku channel. And I had heard about this film vaguely, but I didn't know much about it. I know Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter from all those films. I liked him. What was in this movie? Guns Akimbo. I thought that was a fun one. He's definitely tried to do some interesting projects. He plays Weird Al Yankovic. Now, because I did not follow this that much, I thought this was actually going to be a biopic of the guy. I'm like, okay, that could be maybe interesting because I like Weird Al Yankovic. I grew up with his stuff. I don't listen to his stuff all the time, but I remember I had a VHS tape. I think the tape was called Dare to Be Stupid. It was like a bunch of his music videos. My Life on Jeopardy. It was Beat It. What was Eat It instead of Beat It. It was, oh, Ricky, you're so fine, you were blowing my mind. Hey, Ricky, I Love Lucy. What was the other? There's a few of them. Fat was a take on Bad. Michael Jackson's Bad. There's a few of them. And I've liked some of his other songs. Amish Paradise. Just being parody of songs, take a bit of piss out of them. Even some of his original songs, like he did a song for this film Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton, and it's called This Is the Life. It's actually a pretty decent song, and the music video is on YouTube. This is the life. So I like him. I don't mind the film he did, UHF. Seems like a nice guy. And this comes from a guy that doesn't like polka, does not like polka music. But I did like his energy. I thought some of his songs were rather funny. And I am a fan of Weird Al Yankovic. So yeah, there's a part of me that kind of wished to see a biopic. But it's not. I mean, when you got 5 minutes in, you kind of know. And it makes sense with what kind of guy Weird Al Yankovic is. It's going to be more of taking the piss out of biopics. And that's what it is. Apparently there was a skit on Funny or Die years and years ago. And so they got the idea years later to do this type of thing. But it's like a Funny or Die skit for about 100 minutes. That's very risky because it could be a joke that gets old really quickly. And while I didn't find the film as funny as other people did, I thought it was amusing. Again, the fact that it really is trying just to take the ever-loving piss out of biopics. Treating it seriously, how things get changed, how you can pretty much make up your own biopic and make up the facts, playing up the cliches, playing up to very comedic effects. Like, it's a parody. It's a parody of biopics. But taking itself seriously enough. But that's, again, part of the joke. That kind of makes it a bit funnier because of that. So it'd be, the parent not wanting the kid to live his dream and instead do what the dad does, in this case work in a factory, and the mom literally says something like, no, we want you to give up your dreams. Or the dad telling him, changing lyrics to well-known songs? That's confusing and evil. Or the moment where they get that guitar, they get that instrument, in this case the accordion, and it's Thomas Lennon from Reno 911 that gives it to him. The dad gets mad at the guy. I told you to shut up, and starts beating him up, and then Thomas Lennon's going, wait a minute, you didn't tell me to shut up. No, I will not have you given the devil's squeeze box to my kid. And growing up, he gets invited to a party, but it's a polka party. And that's what I mean is taking the piss out of, is that, of course, polka is not known as the popular brand of music. So they flip it where it's a party where everyone's playing polka. And yeah, come on, do your thing. Oh, wow, man. You're a natural. It's the cops. They don't break up the polka party. Again, just taking the cliches, taking how you usually see biopics and turning it on its head. So no, it's not an actual biography of Weird Al Yankovic. It's literally, and like I say, if you see films like UHF and other stuff, you kind of get the direction they're going in. I guess I should have thought of that in the first place. And Daniel Radcliffe doesn't come in till about 20 minutes or so into the film, and he does a decent enough job. But I think that's also part of the joke, is that they got Daniel Radcliffe to play Weird Al, and so he doesn't look like Weird Al, and I wouldn't say he really sounds like Weird Al, but he definitely has a good energy to it. And I do think he's a very capable actor. He does a good job on that front. And when he sings, he does a good job lip syncing. Because Weird Al himself sings the songs. And then Danny Radcliffe lip syncs. He does a good job. And you have a lot of the Weird Al songs in this. My Bologna instead of My Sharona. I Love Rocky Road instead of I Love Rock and Roll. It's I Love Rocky Road. You have Like a Surgeon. That was another music video that was on the VHS. Instead of Like a Virgin Madonna, it's Like a Surgeon, cutting for the very first time. Amish Paradise makes an appearance. Eat It. Instead of Michael Jackson's Beat It, it's Eat It. So a decent amount of his songs pop in there. They have appearances from other characters. Rainn Wilson plays Dr. Demento. Dr. Demento was a mentor of Weird Al Yankovic. There's some cameos from people. Like, they bring Weird Al to a party, and this is supposed to take place in the 80s. So you have a lot of fake versions of Pee Wee Herman and Alice Cooper, and I think Conan O'Brien plays Andy Warhol. Jack Black plays Wolfman Jack, who's like a famous DJ back in the day. Okay, if you think so good, kid, that guy's from the band Queen. You think you do parody? Do one for Another One Bites the Dust. Yeah, you're not that good, are you? And then Daniel Radcliffe's thinking, it's like, another one rides the bus, and another one rides the bus. And they're all, and that's the thing, is that it's so ridiculous and it's so silly, but they're taking it seriously. I didn't like a biopic would, as this grand journey. And then it literally starts making stuff up. Like, literally just making stuff up. Like, he created an original song, and it was Beat It. And it's like, Eat It. They create you sure this is an original song? Yep. There's never been a song like it before. Eat It. So it's literally lying and saying that Eat It was original, and then says that, well, Michael Jackson made a parody of it later. It was called Beat It. And that became popular. So it's literally making up facts, which I think is a take on how a lot of biopics will make stuff up. I mean, if I've heard from a lot of people who are big fans of Queen, the band, that a lot of stuff was made up for that Bohemian Rhapsody movie. I'm sure there's a lot of biopics, a lot of stuff is made up, so they purposely make stuff up. That, yeah, Weird Al created Eat It, and it was an original song, and Michael Jackson made a parody of it later, called Beat It. And Weird Al's going out with Madonna, and they become lovers, and then Pablo Escobar gets involved, and then Weird Al is having to fight his henchmen, like try and be, I don't want to say as big as John Wick, but try to do those moves, and then this gunplay, and go into the jungle and throwing platinum CDs like Ninja Stars, and there's a part of me that kind of wishes Weird Al would have just played himself. Although I do think Daniel Radcliffe does a good job. Weird Al is in the movie. He is in the movie. He plays an executive who... It's Weird Al rejecting himself. It's him going to Daniel Radcliffe's Weird Al, oh, no one will ever... Probably saying the same things that people said to him. No one would ever buy this. No one would ever listen to this. This would never work out. Even the way it ends is doing a take on dramatic biopics, how a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them will end on a very serious note. And but there's fun to be had there. Like I said, Daniel Radcliffe did a nice job. Was it Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna? I think that's her name. Forgive me if I got the name wrong. Like I say, it's one of those films that as I'm watching it, the whole idea is amusing. I wouldn't say I got a lot of belly laughs out of it, but it's kind of sitting there going, okay, I get what they're doing, and okay, that's kind of fun. I am one of those people that probably would think this would work better as a short film, which I know there was a short Funny or Die, but I just... Either that, or I kind of wish it was just Weird Al himself playing it. I think that would have been fine if Weird Al, was playing himself. Getting his old haircut, and they can just put a mustache on him like he was back in the day. Maybe they thought they'd be too self-indulgent. Maybe the part of the joke is the fact Daniel Radcliffe playing it. That's part of the joke. Is he get like a celebrity actor to play. So I guess that would defeat the joke. But I mean, it's not a film I would watch again, but I would say if you're at all into Weird Al's sense of humor, it's definitely worth at least one watch. Didn't more into spoilers. I mean, I wasn't a fan of every scene. Like, there's a bit where Dr. Demento gave him LSD. He's on an LSD trip with a lot of very obvious CGI special effects. Didn't really care for it. I mean, if I want to see that done better, I thought it was funnier in Harold Kumar Go to White Castle when John Cho was in his dreamland and he thought he had a gun and the bullet goes in. Bullets, my only weakness, to the cop. That was a funnier dream, like crazy sequence in that movie. And I've seen that done in other stuff. Here, I get what they're going for, but I just didn't think it was as funny as I've seen done in other stuff. Like I said, I didn't think it was as hilarious as some people made it out to be. At 100 minutes, I think maybe, 10, 15 minutes could have been shaved down a tad. But it was humorous to watch. And super spoilers, the ending was pretty funny. He does his big award show. Madonna has become the new Pablo Escobar, and Weird Al, played by Dan Radcliffe, goes, no! And then text goes, Weird Al Yankovic was assassinated. And this end credit parody of his life, and they put his face in the images, and like I said, that, with how ridiculous it is and silly it is, it was pretty funny with how that showcased, and how people in the streets were clamoring for Weird Al, and I didn't take the piss of how very serious and how very full of crap a lot of other biopics are. So, I got the joke. It was more amusing than hilarious to me, though. Like I said, there was that part of me that I actually would have liked to have seen a honest to goodness biopic of Weird Al, or even maybe a take on like Private Parts, like Obviously, that's not how Howard Stern's. It's embellished, but it's Howard Stern kind of playing his life. I wish that was the case. I wish it was Weird Al Yankovic kind of. If you want to play like a silly version of his life, Weird Al Yankovic's version of Private Parts with Howard Stern. I kind of would like to have seen that more. Nothing against Daniel Radcliffe, but I like take that Howard Stern Private Parts. I know I'm repeating myself. I tend to do that. But I see Weird Al Yankovic's version of that. And you can, of course, embellish, but, some truths here and there put into that. I guess I would have preferred that more. But it was amusing to watch, and like I said, it was nice to hear his songs again. It's been a while since I've even listened to a Weird Al Yankovic song. And like I said, it's a nice sort of skit comedy, taking the piss out of stuff. And, I mean, I don't know, Roku channel, you can pretty much watch that stuff for free. So you always give it a watch there. And like I said, Daniel Radcliffe, I do appreciate that he's trying to do different type of roles to get out of the Harry Potter stuff. Because I didn't grow up with Harry Potter. I've seen those movies. Some of them I didn't mind, but I can't tell you the difference between any of them, to be honest. But like I said, I appreciate him doing stuff like this, Guns Akimbo, even bits of that movie Horns, I didn't mind. So that's the stuff I probably gravitate more towards for Daniel. And like I said, if you're at all a fan of Weird Al Yankovic, it's definitely worth at least one watch for that sense of humor. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.